Michael Lee, and former Trump and George W. Bush State Department employee, senior advisor, Christian Whiten. There are words missing from the prompter, Christian. That's why I was just ad-libbing. I can call you the president of everything, as far as I'm concerned this morning. Gentlemen, great to see both of you. Michael Lee, just watching the gas prices continue to soar, hitting $5 a gallon for the very first time on Saturday morning. How do you see this playing out? Again, this is not an inconvenience. For the rich, it is. But this is a true hardship hitting hardworking men and women in this country.
Dagan, it's crushing people. It is absolutely crushing people. And then you have gasoline at $5 a gallon. You have diesel at $6 or higher. This affects the cost of everything. And so maybe during COVID, when the gas prices were $1.50 or $1.70, if that were to go to close to $3, I'd say there's a lot of people out there that can absorb that. But when you have this meteoric rise in these prices, it's going to affect the price of everything. And I think at this point is now the major driver of inflation. And you have an administration that's sitting there that wants to vilify the companies that are producing this, not taking a lick of responsibility for their own climate zealous policy. So like it's like that meme with Eric Andre where he shoots the guy on the couch and he's like, what, why did the oil companies do this? And like it's mind-boggling, and it just goes to show the content that this administration has for the everyday American.
Let's move on to what do you make of this? It's not just over the weekend, but he was in L.A. partying with Dave Chappelle. He went to the Met Gala wearing that jacket. He was hanging out with like Real Housewives of New Jersey stars. I know that was one of the little shindigs he went to.
Yeah, look, Bill de Blasio was a communist and a total and complete idiot. And there was so much hope when Eric Adams came in that a lot of these problems that didn't exist pre-de Blasio would get fixed. And all you can see now is here's a guy obsessed with his self-image, enjoying the perks of the jobs, and doing absolutely nothing to help the average everyday New Yorker.
Christian, Wall Street top investors watching your money. Joining me now, Catherine Rooney Vera, Bulltech Capital Markets Chief Strategist, Rebecca Walzer, Walzer Wealth Management President, and Michael Lee, Strategy Founder.
He's absolutely right. This
morning, $200 billion wiped off the entire crypto market just over the weekend. Bitcoin prices falling below 24,000, the lowest level since December of 2020. Meantime, crypto lending company Celsius Network is pausing withdrawals for its customers, the latest sign of a collapse in crypto. Mike, your reaction to all this?
Dagan, so the saying goes, like, when the tide goes out, you can actually see who's wearing a bathing suit and who isn't. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to read you a tweet from Celsius Network from November of 2019. If you don't have free and unlimited access to your own funds, are they really your funds? Unbank yourself with Celsius. So I think that is the key driver of Bitcoin sell-off. And a lot of these crypto exchanges do not have the capital requirements. They don't have the custody requirements of a normal brokerage. And so in times of duress, you could see who's well capitalized and who isn't. And most recently, as of like the third week of May, they had $30 billion worth of deposits in crypto. So a lot of these, so what you're seeing now is a lot of these exchanges, are they well capitalized? Are they not well capitalized? What you saw with Luna is there's really no such thing as a stable coin unless you physically own US dollars in your checking account. I actually think because of what's going on with Celsius, this move is going to get overdone. So if you're a long-term believer in Bitcoin or Ethereum, now is the kind of time where you really want to start legging in. I think this is this is overdone, this sell-off, based on an individual, a one-off thing that's happening that'll probably happen again with some other exchanges. And so for those people that don't know, when you stake a coin, it's the same thing as if you have a stock that's thinly currently traded in one of your brokerage accounts, and the brokerage firm calls and asks you, hey, can we loan this share out and pay you an interest rate? Well, a lot of people do that with their crypto to earn interest rates overnight, and some of these rates can be as high as 1,000% annually on certain rare, smaller coins, and it can be as high as 10 or 15% at some of the smaller exchanges for a Bitcoin. And so when people are paying you that much money to borrow your Bitcoin, how do you think they're generating that rate of return?
Right.
Well, they're obviously taking a large amount of risk, and you're seeing that play out right now by locking up deposits on their network. So this is a one-off event. If you're a long-term believer, I'd actually be a buyer here.
I have something to say about that, but I want to get to Rebecca because.
Dagan, look, Merrick Garland is a tyrant and a tool of the communist left, okay? Threatening a federal judge, okay, which is what they are doing by sending hundreds of people outside his home. And this assassin was not just going for Brett Kavanaugh. He not only wanted to kill Brett Kavanaugh, he wanted to kill his entire family, too, for the crime of reading the law. Okay, we now exist in a banana republic where the president vilifies private companies for his own decisions, okay, and justices of the Supreme Court of this country need to live under everyday threat for them and their families' lives. The fact that it was able to get to this, and Jen Psaki was out there saying, well, people need to express their right to protest in front of the guy's family's home. I mean, we have jumped the shark. We are so far past everything. And just remember those two lawyers in New York City that had Molotov cocktails to throw at police officers? Well, they're getting plea bargains from the Justice Department that are much less than what they should be sentenced for, while nonviolent offenders who were led into the Capitol by Capitol police officers sit in solitary confinement for a year on end, awaiting trial, and then are getting sentenced to years in jail. Remember, Brett Kavanaugh's crime is not being a tool of the left. It is nothing else. So you either get in line or watch out, because we are now moving very closely, if we're not already there, to a banana republic.
Well, Ruth sent us the left-wing group that published the addresses of the justices. It is directly trying to sick protesters on Amy Coney Barrett's kids. We're talking about where they go to school, and that Amy Coney Barrett, the justice, goes to church daily. This is vile. It is vile and dangerous. And these people are backed up by Nancy Pelosi, who refuses to fund additional security for children. But then we had to watch that Pony and Puppy show on Thursday night. Coming up, visitor logs reveal Biden and to say see you later to passwords. Its latest software updates will include ways to use your face or fingerprint exclusively. Experts say passwords pose more security risk as they're not as unique as previously thought. Apple hopes to replace them entirely. Mike, your thoughts on this?
Well, Dagan, if they're going to go to all facial recognitions, I mean, that means my password's going to be pretty easy. It's going to be UGLY1234. So, anything to make it more convenient, I'm all for it as long as it's safe and secure.
Christian, your thoughts on this? Because